Pastor, eu. Pastor, eu. Pastor, eu.
Nice old building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting in your way. Hello.
Hello. Are you both local?
No.
Where else where you both come from today?
Let's. Hertfordshire.
Oh, lovely. You just live for 3 days?
No, we're just here for the day.
Oh, very nice. Well, so welcome to the museum. The museum is free to come in. If you like the museum in particular what we do, you'd like to leave us a very small donation. We are a charity, so any donations are most welcome. We suggest you start over there, which is book the history of the building standing in and its family. Just kind of work your way around, any questions we're here to answer.
Thank you very much.
Did he really ban Christmas?
No, he didn't.
That's one of the myths. Parliament banned Christmas. They were on near the end of the session, and there was only a few of the, shall we say, more extreme Puritans there. Cromwell was out on the battlefield at that time. He wasn't even in Parliament. He wasn't even sitting in Parliament. So he didn't ban Christmas. The ban didn't work either, but
No.
but no, it's one of those. It's one of those. The problem is Cromwell's virtually the only name that's known in the period. So he did everything, didn't he?
Oh, right,
even if it
I'm
wasn't
not a
there.
history buff. I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
no,
You know what
no,
I mean? I
but-
don't know nothing about him.
Well, the thing, but you're quite rightly asking the question, because some people say, "Oh, he banned Christmas," and say, "Well, where's your evidence of that?" And there isn't, because he wasn't sitting in Parliament when they banned Christmas.
Did Parliament try to ban Christmas?
They tried to ban Christmas, and it was an abject failure. They just, you've got more chance of, climbing Everest with a piano strapped on your back. You just aren't going to do it. It's again, it's one of the myths. You'll see, one of the things is Oliver Cromwell always wore black. No, he didn't. If you look at any contemporary painting, he's not dressed in black. The only thing he's wearing black is his armour. The only person, one of the only people that's actually wearing black is Charles I, because black is the most expensive cloth.
All right.
So, but it's again, the myths that have grown up, and he's the only name, so it must be Cromwell. Whatever, even if he's not there, it must be Cromwell. And there's not this, yes, some things, all the comments that all those have been made against the picture there, to some people, he's all and every one of these things, but he didn't ban Christmas.
Did he not?
No.
One thing there said he was banning Christmas.
Well, no, we sell Christmas cards pointing out that he didn't ban Christmas. It was Parliament that banned Christmas. He wasn't sitting at Parliament when they banned it. So the idea that Oliver Cromwell, was a Puritan, then he's killed joy, and it's rubbish. He's a practical joker.
Really?
Oh yeah, I am a firm believer if they had whoopee cushions, he would have used it. He's the guy that pulled a chair out from behind you when you were going to sit down. He liked music. The whole family were musical.
It's weird, see, because as we were coming down, I said, I want to go and have a look at the Cromwell Museum. And I was sitting there saying, he was a bit of a miserable git, he banned Christmas, and he was a Puritan thing.
Yeah, well, again, the Puritans, what he didn't like was organ music in church. Singing of psalms was fine. He had an organ instilled in Hampton Court Palace when he was Lord Protector. He had one installed in there for music, but not in a religious setting. So this is again, people make the assumption, and it's a myth, but it's again, in the old film, the bad guy's wearing a black hat and the good guy's wearing a white hat. Yeah, like they would, wouldn't they? It's like that. So that's partly of what we try to do, is actually, he didn't probably say warts and all, but it's a really good tagline for us to say, we're not his cheerleaders, we're here to say, these are the facts as we know them, and people make up their own ones. So, no, he didn't ban Christmas. But that's quite a popular perception. Yes, again, because that's what people think. He's all sombre, he's dressed in black. In his youth, it's quite likely he was a bit riotous, to say the least. But in his troops, again, Cromwell smashed up all the cathedrals. No, he didn't. The only one cathedral that was damaged by his troops, and that was Peterborough. And the story goes that he was punished for this because he hit his head on the Norman Arch going out. Well, if Cromwell was 19 feet tall, possibly, but he wasn't. But he did. He was housed at a building in the precinct called the Vineyard, and we believe that had an arch. They were having a bloody horse race up and down inside the precinct, and he could well have hit his head. They were larking about. Yes, So this is this all dour Puritan. But of course, to make other people look better, it's like Richard III. You know, Richard III is all bad, so then, or Richard I is good, John is bad. They were both evil people, you know, really nasty bits of work, but to make John look worse, Richard's got to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, at least John could speak English. Richard couldn't.
What language did he speak?
French. Well, French and Occitan, which is the southern French. He might have, it's possible that Richard might have spoken Latin as well, I'm not sure. His father could speak all the languages between England and the Jordan, Henry II, but he would never speak English because English was the common language. But yeah, Richard couldn't speak English. The King of England, the great Richard the Lionheart. Well, he wasn't called Richard the Lionheart, but at the time he was called Richard the Ruthless because he was a psychopath. But of course, in history, you know.
Well, that's the thing about history, though, isn't it? You know,
Well,
it's
who
always written in-
writes it? Who writes it?
Exactly.
Yeah, so the thing, unless Robin Hood spoke French, he couldn't talk to Richard.
Yeah. There you go.
That's again trying to dispel some of the myths. In the 19th century, Cromwell was quite popular among Whig historians. You know, the Parliament and there. And then he fell out of favour, and there are 4 statues that we know of Cromwell. One outside the House of Parliament, one in the suburb of Manchester, Warrington,
Yes.
and St Ives. There's none in Huntingdon. The reason why there isn't one in Huntingdon, the Church of England, which controlled Huntingdon, wouldn't have it, but the Reformed churches in St Ives would. So that's why it's in St Ives and not in Huntingdon. You know, so the history carries on, you know, right to the present day. But the thing, bear in mind, there is a statue of a psychopath outside of the House of Parliament. It's Richard I. I think that's really good. Yeah, yeah, it's my own personal.
Yes. People aren't they, really?
Okay. But yeah, it is very, very strange. Well, there's people serve their own agenda. You know, whatever their support, and some people are good, some people are bad, depending on the tell it says it. So there we are. Away, at least that's one bit. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Spread the word. Yeah. That's Charles' one.
Oh, it is a church. I was going to say, people are a lot smaller than
No, they're not. That's another myth. You can't have swords too heavy, otherwise. I'll come on.
I just kind of imagine any piece of steel that long would weigh quite a bit.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you have the fuller there to again reduce the weight. But hold on, sorry, like that. Okay, I'll come back in 5 minutes.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
arm will fall
yeah,
off.
you can hold that very
But you can't. It's like armour. You've got to have. If you can't move in armour, it's useless.
Yeah.
And then people think you're lumbering around. No, you can't. You know, if you had a lot of armour and you couldn't move, all I'd do is just let you stand in the sun and go like that at you, and wait till you die, don't you, stroke.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I've got some of that wrap in my
That's right.
Oh God. It's heavy. Well, I think it's heavy.
You think it's
Well, it is. It's heavy enough that you can't have something. It's not like a solid bar of iron. And again, the person carrying that will be on horseback.
Yeah.
It's again, gives you good length if you're striking at someone on the ground, or against someone who's mounted against you. I'd say that all these are replicas. in the case, everything there is original. So it's over 350 years old. The Royal Army's got tons of it.
Yeah.
There are 3 swords that can be attributed to Oliver Cromwell, and we've got one.
Oh, nice.
There's one in the one in the Royal Armouries, one in the Royal Armouries, which might be, probably not, but we don't get off on that.
Oh, muskets are fair size as well, isn't
Oh yeah, you can fit that one. As I say, the weight there.
Were the muskets terribly accurate?
No. But you'll see I've got a friend of ours who's shown doing a drill and they will fire a musket. But you've got a whole bunch of these people like that, and it's a pretty close range.
Oh, I imagine that's a lot closer. Don't think that's a fair old bore in there, isn't it?
It's about an ounce of lead, and it's soft lead, and it just smashes open.
Yeah.
Do a whole cannonball.
There we are. Hold on,
Quite heavy. It's a 6-pounder. Which is the
artillery
7
wasn't much used on the battlefield. No, there's some use.
But that was found by some master war. Which is about 380 years old.
So
We want to get away with that. Both hands.
It's a cannonball.
Yep.
That would hurt if it hit you, wouldn't it?
Well, you wouldn't know much about
you didn't feel the thing, I don't think, Jamie.
You drop it on your foot, it hurts.
Yes, you're aware of that. Don't. Yes.
How about I deal with it and then where there's a blameless claim, we go halves.
No, got cameras now. Probably
yeah.
would work.
It's a nice old thing, isn't it?
Well, again, the very fact that you touched on it, the wheel is 350 years old.
Would that have been used in some sort of battle somewhere?
Yeah.
Battle of Marston
More.
Sorry?
The Battle of Marston Moor.
That's up in Yorkshire, about 10 miles west of York. If you go...
So that would have been used and then just discarded and then
Well,
found?
it was, but probably went into the ground, and that was probably a metal detectorist found it in due course, eventually.
So I just felt a bit of hiss that could have killed someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Oh, that's making you excited now, isn't
Yeah.
It's killed somebody. The junkie loves his true crime things as well. Always a drum kit, generally. Do you want to play the drums?
Sorry?
The drum kit. My young
More than welcome.
So this would have been his schoolhouse, really?
Yes. This is originally part of what was called Augustine Commons Hospital, but in terms of hospitality. It's a travel lodge on the Great North Road, run by the monks. When the Reformation comes, when the monastic lands go, the town corporation get the building, they demolish most of it, but retain this part which subsequently becomes the grammar school for the sons of the town. And Oliver Cromwell was taught here between 1610 and 1616. And you may have heard of a gentleman called Samuel Pepys.
Indeed.
Samuel Pepys was taught here between 1645 and 1646.
Really? So does Samuel Pepys live around this area?
He was living in he's basically he was born in London, but his parents sent him because of the Civil War. The ironic thing is
It was also a plague as well.
plague. They thought send him to his uncle at Brampton, which is nearby.
Yeah.
So he got here. He got in here because he had connections, let's say, with Edward Montague, Lord Sandwich, who was a cousin there, and he'd no doubt pulled some strings, and the pin was that Pepys was able to come in here for about 18 months, I think.
So Cromwell was quite connected anyway, wasn't he? So his family was...
Oh yeah, if you go downward, the house isn't there. The only bit of the house that had been It's in the
Yeah, I
corner.
saw it. Yeah.
It's now the Cromwell Nursing Home. There's a building there, early 19th century, isn't it? He was born in Huntingdon. There is the site of what was the church. We went past that this morning in the High Street, where he was baptised. Then he was here. He was MP. 1628. Yeah. There, he fell out with the local corporation. He went to St Ives. Then he was on his uppers there, but he then inherited land and the house at Ely. So he went. He became the MP for Cambridge from 1640. So he moved about, but he's a Huntingdon lad.
Yeah, but I didn't realise his family. I mean, because his uncles are always.
They used to. His grandfather owned Hinchinbrook House.
Yeah.
But he went bankrupt because he kept entertaining James I.
Yeah, but I always kind of had the impression that Cromwell was a man of the people, kind of wasn't connected.
Well, as he said in the thing, the quote, I was by birth a gentleman, neither living in considerable height nor yet in obscurity. He was sort of lower gentry.
Yeah.
You know, so not. He wasn't the nobility, he was there, but he wasn't, on the lowest rungs of the society. So he was on the lowest rung of the gentry class.
Well, yeah, I dare say you can't really make it anywhere that, even then, especially not then if you really were a common man.
Yeah, well, it depends. Again, people, with, it's very much who you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Samuel Pepys is a good example there because he had patron. Became the Earl of Sandwich. That's how he made his way up. There. If you, some of the officers, not that many, but some of the officers in the New Model Army were basically from commons, made their way up. The majority were from the gentry. But they generally had to be people of ability, though. you didn't get it just because of your title. Social mobility. It's not. Of course, again, one of the best ways. If you became a merchant or something like that, or got in with a merchant like that, and you had money, well, people will make considerations. There's a lot of people later on, you say industrialists. They didn't get any nobility, but their grandsons did, because who got married to? You marry money.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the end of the 19th century, 1/4 of the nobility married American heiresses. There was like a paper in New York or something like that saying that it was available.
Oh, I remember that was.
Churchill's mum, Clinton, she was American. But American heiresses marrying into the British nobility.
Yeah, I remember that being I was in a film about people doing that and was looking for eligible British bachelors. Yeah.
Plus a change.
Yeah.
All these women, they're comely wenches, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a word. That's definitely a word for it.
Touchscreen.
Touchscreen.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice one. Thank you. It's a lovely little museum. Learn something different, you know. As I say, it's one of those characters you kind of think you know that
It's important. But again, if you're interested, we've got an online presence. Just have a look. There's a series of talks being done on various bits and pieces. So have a look on there online.
lovely. We'll do that. Thank you very much.
See you again.
Thank you.
He's very passionate, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, it's nice to see people passionate about things. Obviously knew a lot about it.
Got no idea he